So there you go. I can see people joining on Facebook here as well. Let us know like who you are, who's actually like delved into the world of Facebook and isn't just a diehard Periscope fan. Because I know we've been obviously on Periscope from the beginning. You're going to see, I'm testing some stuff out. You're going to see a little ticker across the bottom tonight, guys, with some words on it and sort of telling people to share this scope, share this broadcast. You're going to see a little thing somewhere up here as well, about there. It's like a little act on this logo. Testing some new stuff out in preparation for these new broadcasts that I'm going to be doing, like I say, over on Facebook. So constantly trying to innovate. It would mean the world to me if you shared this broadcast tonight. I'm going to go over something tonight that I'm really passionate about. Hi, Lindsay. How you doing? Super passionate, about what we're going to be talking about tonight, because I just wrapped up on Friday night for everyone who got involved with the launch of Bulletproof Actor, Unstoppable Confidence, Infinite Success. It's a mindset coaching program. I launch just once a year. Well, it's supposed to be twice a year, but this year I only have time to do it once. Rocking the plain black tee. I always rock the plain black tee. I have nothing but 20 plain black t-shirts. Literally, I very rarely wear anything else. But I just wrapped up, on the registration of Bulletproof Actor on Friday night, just gone. And during that launch, the program was actually available for 7 days. I was massive on the promotion of it. It reached thousands and thousands of actors, and I actually received hundreds of emails. Corey's here. Good evening, Corey. From actors over that launch, many inquiring about the program, but many just kind of saying, look, this is where I am and I need some help, I need some advice, I'm struggling. Many people were drowning like in negativity. And I don't even mean, I'm not even saying that to dramatize it up. I mean, like, there's some people who, it gets draining after a while. Ultimately, you read the same email. People have got a different problem, but it's almost like the same issue in every single email that I had, and that thing ultimately was people's entire belief system, but basically the lens that they were putting on in the morning to look at the world through. And like, it's almost like putting on a pair of glasses. You can put a pair of glasses on that's gonna, like have shitty lenses in it and gonna make you see everything in the world shit and negative and against you. And then there's other people who put some glasses on in the morning and they just see, positivity through them. It's not like rose-tinted glasses, like, pretend everything's all right. It's actually like still being grateful and looking for the things that are right in your life. And ultimately, you're going to get a hell of a lot more of what you actually focus on. And if you're focusing on all the shit, you're going to get more shit. And these people in and out of their acting careers were actually they were in full on. I had to email a few people, like, quite harshly, but I got really, really nice replies back going, oh my God, I really needed that. But I gave them like ultimately the same advice in each email that I put out there. But they were in full on victim mode, full on excuse mode, and I think a lot of people, if they're not careful, can get themselves into this mode, and they just kind of like end up drowning in this cesspit of negativity. So tonight, what I'm going to go through, you guys, is just some things that I implemented into my own life a few years back that have helped hugely in my success, things that I kind of practice every single day. I don't remember all of these. I'm not perfect. So, there's actually, when I was writing this presentation up tonight, I thought, I'm going to include that because that's something I've maybe forgotten about for the last few weeks. But these are 7 things that I would say successful and just positive. I say positive actors here, but you know what? It's just anyone, positive people, all right? Give me some hearts or give me some comments on Facebook if you think you have a positive outlook on life. If you believe that life happens for you rather than life happening to you, life might deal you some shit sometimes, but you're like, actually, okay, you know what? Yes, this situation I can't control, but I'm going to control the way that I respond to this situation. I'm going to see the good in it, the opportunity within it. I'm going to ask myself questions like, what good is there right now in the situation I cannot currently see? And I'm going to find something good within the situation to help me kind of move through it. So Fanny says overall, yes. Let me see what comments are coming through on Facebook. I'm just going to click into the video on Facebook and turn my sound off so I don't hear myself. Alex has joined. Alex is here on Facebook. Let me just get these comments lined up on my laptop, Alex, so I can actually see these properly. So, I can see Alex there. And he's talking about T-shirts because Alex works in River Island. Mate, Alex, this T-shirt I've got on is from River Island, mate. I buy most of my black T-shirts from River Island. Seriously, they're the best fit. River Island should do a sponsorship deal with me. Give me plenty of free black T-shirts. I just wear them on every broadcast. So most people are saying, like, overall, they're kind of positive. Dawn thinks she's positive person overall, she thinks. Lindsay says she tries to do that, but sometimes can fall into the trap. I think we all can, Lindsay, unless, seriously, if you want to live, like, just a way, way better life than the life you may be living now, you've got to practice this every single day. This isn't just a thing of going, I'm going to watch this. What you're going to do now, right? You're going to watch this broadcast tonight, or if you're listening on the audio experience on the replay, you're on iTunes right now, you're going to hear this, and you might be walking around, you might be going to a meeting or something like that, and this is going to pump you up a little bit. You're going to be like, actually, yeah, I need to do that. And this is external motivation, all right? What we want to do is you want to implement these things I talk about tonight into your life so much on a daily basis that these actually start producing internal motivation. So you no longer rely on jumping on YouTube to get a hit of, someone like, I don't know, Les Brown shouting at you about positivity, or, Eric Thomas, or, anybody like that. This is stuff that you can put in your life and actually go, you know what, I can motivate myself because I get it, because I understand why I'm feeling like this, what I'm doing right now, and why I shouldn't be doing this, and why I shouldn't be wallowing in shit, because actually I've got it pretty good, to be honest. Even if I'm struggling right now, I've got it better than probably 95% of the entire population of the planet. So like I say, I would hugely appreciate you sharing this. If you share this on Facebook, I'd just appreciate you massively. It shows you on your screen right now how you can share this on Periscope. You click the three dots, you select what you want to share it on, Twitter or Facebook. Bring your tribe here. Your vibe attracts your tribe, so they say. So let's put a positive vibe out there and attract a positive tribe tonight, which would be good. Thank you, Caroline, for sharing. Thank you. James is here. James, great to see you, mate. James is Bulletproof Actor. There's quite a lot of people in here, actually, who've signed up for Bulletproof Actor. You're going to have the best 6 weeks of your life. Well, literally, you're going to change your life for the rest of your life, the next 6 weeks you're going to have. But hopefully, if everyone else is not in the program, this is going to have a positive impact on you today. You're still going to go away from this scope better than when you joined it, I hope. So thank you for sharing. Do appreciate that. So I missed a comment there. Someone saying about accountability buddies, but that's important as well. If you're drowning in shit, if you've got an accountability buddy, they'll be like, hey, come on, pick yourself up. None of this wallowing in nonsense. Let's actually, let's find a solution for this. So for those who just joined now, a bit of a recap. So last week I opened registration to Bulletproof Actor, Unstoppable Confidence, Infinite Success. I'm very grateful for everyone in here who signed up for that. You can't sign up for it now. It's gone away until probably the end of January 2018. But if you go to bulletproofactor.com, you can get on the waiting list. During the 7 days in which registration was open, I've been through, it took me 2 days to go through these emails. I finished it this afternoon. I received 127 emails from actors who were holding back on their life and career, mostly, on their entire life, actually. I say career, but it's probably their entire life this was affecting. And that's through two things. One is negativity, just in general, putting a negative pair of lenses on their eyes in the morning and seeing the world for everything that it can, hurt them, or, all the suffering and pain it can bring them, as opposed to the opportunity it can bring them instead. Caroline says guilty. And also through being shit scared about what other people might think of them. I know I've done scopes on this before about what people might think of you. And it does my head in, because I think there's so many people, and there will be so many people watching this now, whether you're on Twitter or Periscope or Facebook or wherever you're watching this, YouTube, anything like that. Just ask yourself this, am I actually asking for what I want? Or am I still, no matter how many times I watch a Periscope like this or I watch a video, am I still holding back because of fear of what other people might, and I would stress the word might, think of me, okay? Tonight I'm going to share with you the 7 things that I'd like you to implement in your daily life to help you get over this bullshit, because it is just bullshit that I promise you at 90 years old, when you wake up one day and you're 90, if you don't get over this, you're going to regret it, because you are ultimately I hope you get to that age, but there's going to come a point when you are 90 where you cannot possibly physically chase your dreams and ambitions like you can today, regardless of whether you're 17 or 75. You've still probably, even 75, you've absolutely got the chance to go for what you want in life. You might be thinking you can't because you're too old and you're past it. You're not yet. At 90, you are going to be winding down. It's just a fact of life, right? So let's not waste our lives when we are in our 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s and 70s, because that day will come around where you're 90 and you can't do this anymore. So believe me, if you are paralyzed by the fear of other people's opinions, say this before, but I'll say it again, you have already lost. It's not a matter of going, am I going to win? You've already lost. If you are genuinely afraid of what other people are going to think of you from trying to actually go after what you want in life, then you have already lost the game. It's as binary as that, right? Do you really want to lose? If you want to lose, tell me now. Give me some yeses. Or if you want to win, just type I want to win. Genuinely, your subconscious is going to hear that, by the way, if you do type, I want to win. And that's only a positive thing, okay? Do you really want to lose? I'll put it in massive on the screen for you right now. Those listening on the audio experience, you can't see this, but on the screen it just says, do you really want to lose? Caroline says, this is powerful stuff. I just want to shake people, Caroline, and give you some, like, self-awareness right now, okay? I did a Periscope 2 weeks ago on a Monday night, exactly 2 weeks ago, and we looked at why most actors and most people in life procrastinate. Ashley's saying, I want to win on Facebook. Great. That's exactly what we want to be hearing. I am already winning and I can win more. Excellent. Seeing, I want to lose. No, you don't, Bobby. Oh, you want to lose whatever holds you back. Yeah, exactly. But you want to win. Absolutely. And Caroline says she needs shaking. I put this slide up that you're going to see now 2 weeks ago. I've reused it tonight because I think it's still powerful. What I was saying about getting to 90 years old, yes, I hope that happens for everybody. But more importantly, don't forget this. You are going to die. Just straight up. Binary, right? You are absolutely going to die one day. All those people you're afraid of right now and you're afraid of their opinions, guess what? They're all going to die one day. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. All this shit and this fear that's stopping you from reaching out or making a phone call or sending an email or posting a video, it's all bullshit. Why do you care what Actor Girl 659, I don't even know if she exists, I just made her up, Actor Girl 659 might think of you on Twitter? Why do you care, seriously, about someone you don't even know? Right? You never even met this person in your life, you know. Why won't you reach out to that person in the industry for fear of them not giving you an opportunity or fear of them going, oh, that's not the done thing, so I'm not going to reply, okay? Why are you afraid to do that? Why won't you do that? Okay, they can't give you an opportunity until you reach out. So unless you do, you literally have nothing to lose. All you're ever going to have is what you've got now, which for most is probably nothing. You have nothing to lose. Alex says he will win, so that's good, Alex. But yeah, I just saw a lot of this in these emails that I was being sent this week. And it's frustrating for me because the advice I end up giving out is the same every single time. And it's effectively, it comes down to what we're going to talk about tonight, but effectively it comes down to this. Why do you ultimately care? Hey now, Actor Girl 659 means well. I'd say hi, says Tony. Tony, do me a favour, see if she exists on Twitter. Just say, I'm sorry if she does. I just made her up. I'm not slagging her off. And James is going to win as well, he says. So these 7 things, guys, right? These 7 things are what people with winning DNA do on a daily basis. You have both winning DNA and losing DNA. Stands for deoxyribose nucleic acid for all you scientific geeks. Basically the shit you're made of. And you have winning and losing DNA inside of you all, okay? And you can choose. Those on the Bulletproof Actor course will know about this battle of the two wolves that happen in your mind every single day. This is a similar thing. You can choose which type of DNA is going to win each and every day of your life. Whether you are going to go out and show the world your winning DNA, or you're going to go out and show the world your losing DNA. And the only the people who are going to accept your losing DNA are friends with losing DNA. So you want to also surround yourself with as many people in your life as you can that show winning DNA on a daily basis. Let's look at these 7 things. Number 1, positive actors, winning actors, successful actors do not dwell on the past. So many of these 127 emails I got were, oh, I had this experience at drama school. I had one literally just today. Someone who will go nameless. Well, actually, you'll not know. It's just a girl called Sophie. She's not even on this scope, right? Email me going, right, I was told this at a certain point in my life. It's still to this day knocked my confidence. I still can't get over this. I saw so many people in the Bulletproof Actor Facebook group posting videos similar to this shit that they were still dwelling on in the past. And if you're part of the program, I'm going to show you exactly how to obliterate that stuff. But ultimately, still what I'm put on this slide is relevant. Positive actors or just positive people understand that what happened, right? Just happened. And that nothing you do today can change the past, right? You can change your life only in the present moment. Okay, the past just keeps you stuck. The present allows you to create the life you want and to take life into your own hands. A director once told me I wasn't ugly enough. Oh, well, that's bonus, isn't it? That's good. You're told you weren't ugly enough. That's nice. I totally go with that. It's just funny. The whole concept of time is bullshit, guys, right? I've said this before. Apologies if you're hearing this for like the 25th time. But when the thing happened in the past that's screwing you up today, when it happened in the past, it didn't actually happen in the past, did it? Because it doesn't exist. It happened in the now. It happened there and then at that time. Those things you're probably worried about tomorrow, that audition next week, this that's going on, that thing that might happen, that you're currently seeing in the future, when it happens, it's actually not going to happen in the future. It's going to happen in the present. It's going to happen in the now. So the past and the future never really exist, bar in your head. They're like man-made constructs. Regan says it happens to her all the time. It's a roadblock for her. Those things are going to happen in the now. Those things happened in the now. The only thing you have is the now. So by dwelling on the shit and the mistakes you made in the past, every second you spend doing that is 1 second you rob yourself of today. And you might do that for just 10 seconds, and yet you could have still made a great decision in that 10 seconds that might have changed your life. Rather than, look at someone's Facebook page or an ex's Twitter in that 15 seconds that's going to make you feel like shit. You might have just missed a tweet on Facebook a tweet on Twitter or a post on Facebook that was asking for somebody just like you to give you an opportunity for a job or something that's going to move your life on, but you chose to dwell on the past and just go and have another look at what happened in the past and probably berate yourself and beat yourself up about it and blame yourself. It's bollocks. And it will just kill you. It's just losing DNA. Isn't it funny how we don't remember the compliments, but we always remember the bad remarks? Yeah, Caroline, this is what people do. You can go into like a job, like I see people do this actually quite a lot. They'll go into like an appraisal at work, and the person, their boss, will be like, right, because they have to do this. They can go, you are incredible at this, and this, and they'll reel off 9 things that they're great at. But because you have to, just in the corporate world, give constructive criticism, they've got to come up with some things that you're not good at, aren't they? So they'll go, well, you're great at these 9 things, but actually, this one thing you could really, do better at. We need to focus on that. And what will most people do? 99% of people will walk out the room and they won't focus on the 9 things that they were just told they were great at. They'll focus on the 1, so the 10% that they're not great at, and they'll feel like shit about it, as opposed to actually focusing on all of the good stuff. So we are, we're very, kind of susceptible to that. If we're not, if we're not conscious, all of this stuff, guys, you've got to be conscious of. Recognize it in yourself. And when you find yourself dwelling, I play this rule myself, where I give myself 10 seconds. So basically, when I catch myself dwelling on some shit, or I'm going down the garden path of a negative experience or whatever, something that happened in the past that I'm struggling to deal with, I'll give myself 10 seconds. It's not repressing anything or denying it happened. It's going, wait a minute. We know where this takes us. We've been down this path 1,500 times before. It doesn't lead us to anywhere nice. Let's just get off this path, and we'll go back out the gate, and we'll go down the road to a different one. And I just give myself 10 seconds. And you can play a challenge with yourself, where you can actually give yourself, I'll give yourself up to 60 seconds if you're just starting this off. You'll get better at it, and you'll get it down to 10. But just try for 7 days. Every time you're thinking a negative thought, go, wait a minute, and give me 60 seconds to change, to shift your brain into actually focusing on something that's either you're grateful for or something that's good in your life. And if you dwell for more than 60 seconds, you go back to the beginning. You've got to do this for 7 days straight. So on day 4, if you dwell for a minute and a half, it's back to day 1. And you've got to try and do this for 7 days consecutively. It's really hard. It's really hard. But it's a great challenge. If you can do it, tweet me, let me know you've done it. 7 days where you've not dwelled on anything negative for more than 60 seconds. See if you can do that. Point number 2. Positive actors live with less guilt and regret. Right? No matter what they did in the past, positive actors don't have as much guilt or regret about things they did wrong or that went wrong. And that's for a few reasons. But they see their errors. I would suggest everybody sees their errors and misguided decisions. Okay, we can all make bad decisions in life, guys. I'll hold my hand up. I have made some bad decisions. Really have. Honest to God. Things that I'm going, I'm not really proud of that right now. But your decisions do not define you as a person. The decisions and who you are 2 separate things. We can have a great person make a bad decision, and that's just being human ultimately. And they see their decisions and errors as things to learn from, okay? They see their paths and the decisions they made in the past as them just doing the best they could do with what they had at that time. Guilt, if I'm honest with you, actually could be looked at as a positive emotion, all right? And envy in the exact same way. If you feel guilty about something, guess what? It means your standards now are higher than they were when you made that decision. So it actually means that you've evolved as a better human being. If you did something really bad and you didn't feel guilt, that would be worse. So don't actually worry about feeling guilty about it. Go, actually, you know what? If I'm feeling guilty about it, I recognize that wasn't a good thing to do. My standards have been raised. I will not do that again. I'll apologize to that person. And actually, it means I've grown and I've become a better person because I'm feeling guilty. If you didn't feel guilty, you'd just be a shitter person, wouldn't you? So don't worry about that, okay? Just never make the same shit decision twice. That's ultimately it. We can all make a bad decision once. Just don't make the same one twice. And don't think you're going to go through your life not making more bad decisions. Chris Stone's here on Facebook. Good evening, Chris. Because you are. I promise you, one thing I can guarantee you is you're going to make more bad decisions. I make bad decisions every day. I mean, I'm not talking like morally incorrect decisions, but I make wrong decisions every single day of my life on the micro level. Things like how I go about things, designing something, going for a train at a wrong time, just things I go, I shouldn't have done that. Ultimately, it's caused more hassle in my life, right? Every single day. I spend zero time focusing or dwelling on that mistake because guess what? I know a couple of hours later I'm probably going to make another one. It just doesn't make any sense to me to focus on things or bad decisions that I did in the past, because ultimately I know I'm going to make a shit ton more. So what's the point? And you need to get yourself to that place as well. Like I said, I'm not talking like I've never killed anybody or done anything hugely, something that would rack you with guilt like that. But if you're just making regular human mistakes, then I mean, what else could you kind of ask for? You are a human. I'm guessing everyone here tonight is a human being. So positive actors, positive people in general, just choose to live with less guilt. They go, okay. And like I said, for envy as well, you can do this the same. If you're feeling envious of something, that's not a negative emotion. It's actually a barometer to show you, or a compass to show you in what direction you should be going to in life. The only crime I'm sure you've committed is stealing the show. Bobby, I love it. Cheesy, but yeah, very, very true. So that's point number 2. Point number 3, positive actors see disappointments as a blessing. And for a lot of people, you're like, Ross, you're crazy, that's bullshit. What's the alternative, guys? The alternative for me is unthinkable. While some may see disappointments as failures, positive actors or positive people view disappointments as blessings, okay? And they see disappointments ultimately as learning opportunities. You've heard the old, like, cliched phrase, sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. That's such a great way of looking at life. The seeds of wisdom and experience, okay, that you they see these disappointments as learning opportunities. The seeds of wisdom and experience. They see disappointments as things they can get around. Even if it looks bad now, it's a gift that has something to offer. Anyone who's on the Bulletproof Actor program, Archie, good evening. He's joining Facebook. Anyone who's on the Bulletproof Actor program, you will see in Unit 4, when ultimately you're rewriting your limitless life story to live by for the rest of your days on this planet, that we're going to flip a lot of the excuses that you are making today for why you're not having success because of all these disappointments in the past. We're going to flip those, and you're going to learn some super positive psychology principles and strategies to actually use those same things that are holding you back now to actually propel the shit out of you in the future to go and get things done. So if you are one of these people who sees disappointments as failures and I'm useless, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, I'm not this enough, I'm not that enough, be prepared to have all of that crap suffocated. And you're going to learn how we flip these things around. You're going to learn from my own experience and my own story as well, of exactly how I did that. And it's powerful. I can't wait, says Simon. Simon's here. Good evening, Simon. Good to see you, mate. So yeah, it's going to really help you with that. But positive people do see sort of like gifts in everything. There's two ways to think of stuff. So I'll give an example. People know a lot of my story here, but I've got this eye condition that's robbing me of my eyesight. Two options, two ways to look at that. I can look at that as a tragedy. A lot of people would. They go, I'm going blind. What a tragedy. Yeah, you know what? I could look at it like that, and what would that do for me? just cripple me, wouldn't it? It would paralyze me. I wouldn't do anything. I have the choice to look at that as a gift and go, well, you know what? If I'm not going to have my sight in 20 years' time, and I don't know if that's the case or not, touch wood, I will, and some doctors will be able to fix it. But if they can't, then what's my choice now? I go, okay, well, I'm going to use that gift of self-awareness, the self-awareness of knowing that what I have today I might not have tomorrow, which for a lot of people will just take it for granted that they're always going to have their shit. And then, so life deals you this blow where you go, you're not going to have that anymore. And I go, well, this is going to fuel me so that I spend every single hour I can maximizing my output in life right now. So I can use that as a gift to fuel me and to go and see as many sights of the world, see as many places I can, look into the eyes of as many people I meet. And I very often, when I'm out running or when I'm out doing something, genuinely, will look around and almost just go, oh my God, I'm so grateful that I can see these clouds and this amazing blue sky right now and this sunshine and these trees and all this kind of stuff. I know if I didn't have this condition, I'd never do that. Take it completely for granted, like most people on the scope probably do right now. And in a way, probably to a certain degree where I take my ears for granted or my legs for granted. Everyone's going to have their own, disappointment in life that you've got to switch, you've got to flip it and turn it into something positive. So that's point number 3, okay? Point number 4, positive actors don't blame others. See this a lot. They want to point the finger at everything in the industry, bar themselves. Even if they come across something challenging, positive actors don't blame others for it, okay? They're not looking to pin the blame, get angry at, or hold grudges against the people who might have contributed to the challenges at hand. And yet I still see actors bitching about their agents. It's not your agent's fault if you're not working, it's yours. Even if it is, if you can attribute some blame to an agent, say they didn't get back to a casting director who asked for you to come in for an audition, that would be blame. Okay, so I've got something to actually attribute some blame to. But guess whose fault that is actually? Yours, for choosing that agent. You obviously went into a meeting with them, looked them up and down, had a conversation, went, yeah, I trust you wholeheartedly with my career, the career that I supposedly care about more than anything else. I'm going to trust that in your hands. There you go. So you made that decision. You take full responsibility for that. It's your fault if you're going to attribute fault to anything, okay? You've got to stand up and take accountability for your entire life. Every decision you make in life is your decision. Your agent didn't come to you, put a gun to your head and say, sign with me. You said, please, pretty please, I am begging you almost for most actors, please give me representation. I am desperate. So if you actually were just so desperate to get into bed with any agent, didn't do any due diligence or actually, research them or, look at their track record, and they're not getting you auditions, it's your fault. No one else's. So don't look to blame anybody else for where you are in your life, because you are exactly where you are in your life because of nobody else but you and the decisions you have made in life. Life has dealt you some shit, I am sure. But you chose to deal with it in a particular way. So let's not blame anybody for where we are right now. And it's liberating when you don't as well. When you actually stand up and go, yes, you know what, that relationship, yep, that ended, that, happened. Even if it's a really bad relationship, someone cheated on you. When you stand up and take your blame, your part of that, whatever it is, even if it's just choosing the wrong person to be with, nobody robs you of anything. You sound like a philosophy major. Belinda, I'm not, mate. I've never, Belinda, never majored in anything at all, philosophy. But it is just like, it's just life. It's just real life, isn't it? I always tend to blame myself far more than anybody else. You gotta just, not actually just attribute all the blame to yourself either. I would say just don't blame necessarily anything. Just actually go, right, from now on, I'm going to raise my standards. And I'm going to choose to make better decisions. And I'm going to take full accountability. I told you, there was a mentor of mine, a guy called Gary Vaynerchuk, says it how it is. Anyone knows him, they will just know he's the most straight-talking guy on the planet. I stood up to ask him some questions about my business in front of 800 people, and he tore me apart. I could have just got dead defensive and gone, Gary, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. I actually went, you know what, wait a minute. Remember, the only difference between feedback and criticism is the way you take it, the way you interpret it. I had to interpret that as feedback, not criticism. And I actually went, you know what, I'm going to take full accountability because, yeah, you know what, this guy's probably right. The reason I've got this happening in my business or my life is because of me. I've done this and I'm expecting it to work. If it's not, then it's not something that the market's doing wrong. The market is the market. If people wanted to get involved with this, they'd get involved with it. It's obviously the way I'm dealing with it, selling it, producing it. It's my issue. I'm not going to blame anybody else. So many people want to create a business and then go, oh, my stuff's the greatest thing ever. They're just stupid for not watching it, or they're so stupid for not realizing my stuff's the greatest. They want to watch cat videos on YouTube, and I've created this really great content. They're just all so stupid, these people. Well, no, you know what? If they're watching more cat videos than the stuff you're producing, the market's the market. If you want to appease them, just make some cat videos. And then get them watching your stuff and transition them to stuff that you think they should want to watch after that. But again, it's about being accountable to yourself. So number 4, don't blame others. Number 5, positive actors actively look for the good in life. Getting that harsh criticism of Gary Vee might hurt, but it's valuable feedback. He's a smart man. It's super valuable feedback, Tony, mate. Really, really. And I emailed him afterwards as well, and we hugged it out afterwards. It was fine. But it was so valuable. Changed my entire outlook. So positive actors look for the good in life. This is what I was talking about at the start. So you could be in the ocean, right, and notice how dirty the beach is. You could be on an aeroplane and notice how poor the Wi-Fi is, or stuck in traffic and complain about how you seem to spend your life in traffic. Does that ring any bells? Anyone do that? Who sees people? I don't understand this. It's bullshit. Why have you got time to do this? It's such a negative thing to do. People will sit in traffic. They'll take a photograph of it on their phone whilst driving, and they will put it on Facebook, moaning about how bad the traffic is. What a waste of time. Absolute waste of time and energy. When is that ever going to serve anybody any good? Just doesn't, does it? At all. I can't drive because of my eyes. I'm not allowed to drive. I would love to be sat in traffic some nights, to know what it's like to drive a car and have the independence of actually getting in a car and going anywhere I want at any time. Going and picking up my mates to give them a lift, as opposed to me being always the one they have to come and pick up. I would love that. You don't have to drive. It's a privilege to drive. You get to drive. So many people want to complain about the fact that I spend all my time in my car. Well, there's some people who would love to spend time in a car. There's people in other countries who can't afford cars, who will never have that opportunity. But equally, I know some actors who would, they'd win an Oscar, and one of their rivals would win 2 on the same night, and they'd be so pissed off. It's like, actually, you've just won an Oscar. Oh, I don't care. Tony Rossi just won 2 Oscars. And yeah, it's like they're not looking for the good in life. They're just looking for the bad. So positive actors find the positive in any situation. They look through a lens that is scanning the world. It's a great little analogy, this. Imagine you're scanning the world for anything helpful and inspiring, for that tiny speck of good that comes out of any situation. That's ultimately what successful people are doing with their lives every single day. They are looking for the good in every situation, okay? Number 6, positive actors see setbacks as temporary. Just temporary. Positive actors always look at difficult situations as passing phases. Just a phase, like clouds or bad weather. They don't see heavy rainfall or violent storms as things that stay, because they don't. Bad weather doesn't stay, does it? We had glorious weather yesterday here in the UK, Tony Rossi. Don't know what it's like in Chicago for you. And then today, I was walking to the gym this morning at 6:30 and throwing down rain. Really, really bad rain, okay? And I know tomorrow it could be sunny again. It's just passing. It's a passing phase, okay? So they know that with a good attitude, daily progress, and an affirmative perspective, the winds of change will be around the corner. Okay, there's that poem. I'm sure. I can't remember. This too will pass. I can't remember who it was, but it's so true. The black cloud that's over you right now. If you are there, Tony says it is a bit cloudy actually, but it's but not raining like they predicted. They're never right, Tony. But yeah, if you're currently under a black cloud in your life, metaphorically right now, I promise you, if you hang in there and you live your life with a good attitude, you make daily progress and you have an affirmative perspective, which is one where you're like, actually, I can do this. Affirmations are really powerful. Every day in every way, I'm getting better and better and stronger. Everything I need is within me now, and I have the courage to see it through. You talk to yourself in a positive way. Good evening, Jenna. then you will get through that. The winds of change are genuinely just around the corner. And positive people, they just see, the negative as setting them up for something better. I keep hoping my circumstances will pass. Well, there's a difference between hope. So hoping is being reactive or it's being defensive. If you get offensive, Caroline, you actually, I'm not gonna hope. Don't say I hope this changes. That's not the best affirmation. You got to say this will change. I will make this change. I have everything I need inside me to make this better. What good is there right now that I cannot see? You will make it change. That's not hope for anything, because hope is like you're giving away all of your power, as if like, oh, well, someone else is going to come and fix this. They're not. You are. You're the only one who can. Ultimately, in your own life, you're the only one who can make that change. No one can do it for you. So that's number 6. Positive actors see setbacks as temporary. 2 right, says Simon. Number 7, positive actors believe life. This is a bit spiritual and a little bit philosophical, I guess. But I like this. I believe that life is working for me. Okay, and you have a choice as to how you see life's unfolding circumstances. Okay, you can see life and your surrounding circumstances as bad karma. Don't really believe in karma. I've told you my kind of take on karma. It's not like an energy that goes around. Karma for me is me showing up in a positive way in the world, making somebody else's day better so that they go on, in a positive way to hopefully make someone else's day better, who in turn will make someone else's day better. And that person whose day they make better could be a member of my family or one of my friends or loved ones. That's how I believe karma works. It's not like a mystical energy. It's like, oh, you've done bad and that's going to happen. I believe karma kind of is the ripple effect on how you show up in the world. So people who, believe that life is working for them, they see the world around them as being supportive, and working to help them achieve their dreams. Chain reaction, says Caroline. Yes, similar. And that thing I said before about, you're not having to drive, you get to drive, okay? Life doesn't happen to you. Positive actors, positive people believe life happens for them. And even when they're dealt a bit of shit, they're like, how can I actually, use this to my advantage? This is a really bad situation, but how can I actually get over this to grow, be a better person, maybe be more compassionate, understand people a little bit better? Bobby says, I love this. Thank you, Bobby. But yeah, maybe sometimes, a friend's been through a situation, you don't maybe understand it, and you don't quite understand why they're in that place or why they can't get over it, that kind of thing. And then it happens to you. And you're like, wow, now I actually understand it. So if you're going through something that's quite bad, I know if this ever happens to someone else that I know, I'm going to be way more compassionate next time. I'm going to get it. So many people, told you, didn't I, a couple of Christmases ago, I had to go and get my cat put down at the vet's. Bless him, little Eric the cat, ginger cat, I'd had him 20 years, like my son. And I had to hold him whilst they put him to sleep. And they had to hold him while they killed him. It wasn't quite as harsh as that. It was very, nice, nicely done. It wasn't nice to be there though, and I was really cut up about it. And then, people will be like, "What's up with you? You're a 34-year-old man." I think it was 32 at the time. You're 32. You're a man. It's just a cat. I'm like, man, you don't get it. If you don't understand that this life you've looked after for 20 years, you've had to just hold as it's basically, don't want to say destroyed. I'm trying to think of a nice way to put it. They just don't get it. And then I'm thinking, well, you know what? Maybe if you have kids or whatever, and they have a cat, and then you've got to be the one who holds that cat as it's being put to sleep, maybe you'll get it. But I know through that negative experience, that if any of my mates just had to give his dog away because he's got 2 dogs and he's split up with his girlfriend. He's got to give one of the dogs to his girlfriend. He's keeping one of the dogs. And, and he's like, oh, mate, I'm sorry, I'm getting a bit emotional about it. I know I shouldn't be. And I'm like, no, I really get it. Please don't be. So it's made me a better person having to go through that. And I believe, okay, that was a challenge, but it happened for me. It didn't happen to me. I still had 20 amazing years with that cat. Couldn't give him a better life. He loved it. Little Eric. And it was such a positive experience, It's not a tragedy. That was a gift. I got effectively to be with him whilst, he left this planet. And that's a privilege in itself. It's the least I could do for him. And one thing I also realised as well is when it was my dad's job, when my dad was here, my dad died in 2006, but when my dad was here, that was always his job. As we were kids, and when he was when we were really young children, me and my brother, it happened a couple of times, my dad would have to, go and take family pets to be euthanized. And he would have been at times, he probably wouldn't have been much older than me than I was at 32. And you realise that, that your dad, you look at your dad as like this big, strong guy who's like, he's just dead hard and he's the man, he can do anything. And it made me realise, God, you know what? He must have been feeling the same kind of shit that I'm feeling now. And ultimately, no matter how old we get, we just blag it, don't we? We're still all just blagging our way through life. We still need support. Doesn't matter how old you get, you suddenly don't turn your emotions off and go, right, I'm the man. I can go and have this dog put to sleep and it won't affect me at all. So it made me more compassionate like that, going, actually, you know what? Yeah, fair play. My old man was a bit of a legend as well because, he did this stuff like loads. I've only done it once. He did it loads. And it must have, affected him. Not that we had like loads of animals that just kept dying. They did live nice, long lives, guys. We didn't just just kill them. But over the space of 20 odd years, then you go through quite a few. Caroline says blagging for sure. Honestly, we all really, really do. So if you believe the world is supporting you, last slide here. If you believe the world is supporting you, which you've got to believe, right? You will expect good things to unfold. Something magical happens when you expect life to get easier. And you should all be expecting life to get easier as you're going along because hopefully you're getting stronger every day and you're becoming better human beings. So, it makes sense that life is going to get easier as you progress through it, yeah? I would agree with that. So if you expect good things to unfold, surprises, miracles, and circumstances will be in your favour each time, okay? And positive actors know that a positive worldview is a matter of perspective. Like I said before, it's your perspective. It is your choice. And every single day, you get the choice when you wake up of what pair of glasses you put on. Do you want to put on the lenses that are like black and dreary and blurry and, you just look at everything, the world in a negative way? Or do you want to put on those glasses that are, super clear, bright, make everything seem a little bit happier? Because it is your choice. It really, really is your choice. You choose which philosophy you wanna live in life. And we've been through that on the book club on a Wednesday night when we looked at the Slight Edge last month. It is your choice. And don't worry if the vet thinks you're mental, Caroline. It's fine. It's all good. So, ready to start. I've got a slide up for the audio experience listeners that just says, ready to stop being so fucking negative now. Because I really want people to just embrace. I say this quite a bit, don't I? This is something that I've got from Gary Vaynerchuk. He always says, look, let's make positivity louder. And I just really agree with it. It's not being twee and it's not suppressing shit and pretending that everything is great when it's not. Like, it is cliched. The word positivity almost gets a bad name for itself. But we really do need to make it louder, guys, because there's so much negativity in the world right now. You don't need to add any more to it. Because guess what? You're being served it at every single corner of every street you walk down. So we've got to make positivity louder. So to recap, positive actors do these 7 things, right? They do not dwell on the past. They live with less guilt and regret. That's ultimately because they don't dwell on the past. They see disappointments as a blessing. They don't blame others. Big one. They look for the good in life. They see setbacks as temporary, and they believe life is working for them. And if you're watching on the replay on actonthis.tv, or if you guys who are watching live can wait till tomorrow, go to actonthis.tv tomorrow night, and this replay will be up on the website. You'll see it on the homepage. You can download these slides as a high-quality PDF. I can see people taking screenshots of them on Periscope, which is cool. Maybe you want to save it as your wallpaper on your phone. Mark's joined on Facebook. Good evening, Mark. But yeah, this will be available as a downloadable PDF tomorrow. So they are the 7 things positive actors and positive people do. So I want to end on this, and it's just a really simple quote by a guy called Joseph Campbell. He was a writer, he was a speaker, and he just said, "Look, find a place inside where there's joy, and the joy will burn out the pain." And ultimately, that's like the whole thing about focusing on the good in your life. If you have got pain in your life and you're feeling it right now, and you know what, if you're feeling it, it's fine, because if you're feeling it, you've got time left on the clock. If you weren't feeling it, we'd be in trouble because you wouldn't be here anymore. So there's always, a way, if you are committed, to get out of that rut that you are in right now. So you've just got to focus on the good, Quit focusing on what life is not giving you right now, because ultimately you're going to almost just produce more of that for yourself, because you're going to miss the opportunity. There'll be opportunity around you that you will just miss if you're focusing on all the negativity in your life. And that in your life, your friends as well, who you surround yourself with, so huge. The only people who will let you off with being so negative are other loser friends. Ultimately, to be harsh, don't be one. Get your winning DNA out. Try and lift them all up. I really like that quote, says Caroline. It's good, isn't it? Find a place inside where there's joy, and the joy will burn out the pain. So it is, kind of like sums it up for me. Definitely. So I hope that has been useful for you guys. Let me know what you think. Do appreciate everybody tuning in tonight, as always. And like I say, make sure you like the Facebook page, because it's facebook.com/act on this TV, because I'm going to be doing some exclusive broadcasts. I can't do them on Periscope. It won't let me. I have to use some different software. I can only do them from the Facebook page. But I'm going to be joined by some wicked guests on these broadcasts who are going to be industry people who you're going to love and you're going to want to talk to. And you can talk to them live via what I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to give you plenty of information on that as and when those are coming up. But expect some stuff towards the end of this month, which is good. Great, thanks, Ross. Says Han. Love these 7 points. Do you have one or two that you personally struggle with? For me, yeah, I do, Tony. Absolutely, I'll hold my hands up. So one that absolutely I really have to fight with sometimes is dwelling on some previous stuff. And it's mostly kind of like in my life, it's been nothing to do with career or anything like that. I think any time that I've been dealt a card in my career that I've looked at as could have been construed as negative at the time, it's turned out way positive. Because I've been given other opportunities off the back of not getting an audition or not getting a part or something like that. If I've been down the last one or two, that's often 3 weeks later led to me being brought in for something else, and I have got. Or even at some point where a writer has written stuff for me based on the fact he's going, I can't give you this part, you're too old for this, but I'm actually going to write you a part in this anyway, which has been amazing. But for me, it's been personal stuff, relationships, mate. That's what that is the thing that's beaten me up the most in terms of going. A few years ago, God, it means like 3 years ago, I ended a relationship, and there's that temptation so often to go back, to go, oh, remember that time? Could I have done something differently in that moment? Should I have said that? Would that have made something better? How did I not notice that? Or should I have noticed that? At what point, should I have realised something wasn't right or something like that? And that's about taking accountability for me, going, actually, you know what? I'm not going to blame this other person for their half in it. So I'm going to figure out maybe what I could have done. And there's some good comes of that, because you can go, oh, actually, yeah, next time I wouldn't do that. But that for me, in my personal life, at times, particularly 3 years ago, was really difficult. So that's definitely the one area that I've struggled with. The other stuff, to be honest, I can't remember. I mean, it's been so long since I've kind of like not lived by all of this stuff that I talk about. It's quite difficult to remember myself when I used to kind of like, not be in a great place. It was when I was 24 when like I started really getting into this. My dad had just died, and I realized life was so short, man. He died at 60 years old. I found out about this eye condition. 2006, it all kind of changed around. I was just like, I just really needed some kind of strategies to deal with it all. And I just became obsessed. And since then, life's got a lot easier. It's so different now. So I don't remember a lot of the stuff I probably used to struggle with. But I think for me, it was just frustration at 24 of feeling like I was able and talented and should have been given an opportunity. And why wasn't I getting an opportunity in the acting industry? Why was it so hard? Why did it seem that everybody and every situation was against me? And that was just a real victim mentality to live by. I look back and I'm just embarrassed. But you don't know what you don't know, do you? And that's the thing. If you're not going to spend time and money on your education, I say this at the very start of Bulletproof Actor, that in the welcome video when people join the program, I'm like, listen, I think attribute a lot of success I've had to the investments I've made, both time, financially, in education, of educating this my mindset, my belief system, and really learning about human psychology, human behavior, and why we do what we do. Because there's no one behaves randomly. We all absolutely behave for very specific reasons to fulfill one or more of four main human needs, and those human needs are certainty, variety, love and connection, and significance. And when you study that and you understand it, you can explain why everybody behaves in the way that they do, even if they're doing heinous crimes. I can not even probably, I know I can tell you exactly why somebody would do that thing based on it fulfilling one or more of those four human needs. And if an activity fulfills three or more of those four, it becomes very addictive. This is why you'll get people like, remember Jihadi John, who was just doing the most heinous things in the world. He's cutting people's heads off on YouTube. I mean, you think, how on earth can anybody, possibly explain that behavior? But when you look at, and this is no excuse for that at all, the guy deserves to burn in hell, and I'm glad he was taken out. But, you go somebody who is born into a society where he obviously felt so insignificant, and people in that, in those kind of groups just feel like massive inadequacy, feel that the world is against them. They feel about as significant as this pair of headphones that I've got here, just lay on my desk, completely insignificant. And they're like, right, okay, well, you know what? I crave significance. The fastest way to get significance in your life is through violence. And this is why violence will never, unfortunately, ever not be a big part of society. If I walk down the street and I pull a gun out and put it to your head, Tony Rossi, not that I would do that, I don't have a gun. Instantly, I'm the most significant person in your life. It's no longer your wife, your girlfriend, your mum, your dad. It's me. Because I am God in that moment. I can look you in the eyes and I get so much significance from that. I fulfill another human need of certainty because I am certain whatever I say to you, you are going to do. Okay? I get variety because if I put a gun to your head and I put a gun to anyone else's head on here, you're going to react differently in each situation. And I get such a deep connection because I can look in your eyes and be massively connected to you right there. So for someone like Jihadi John, he just goes, I feel so insignificant. I'm going to have to do something. It's so incredibly violent that it gives me this massive significance, and not just significance where the person who's involved in the violence is doing as I say, and and I'm the most significant one there, but whereas I'm having one-to-one dialogue with President Obama, the most powerful man in the world. So this guy's gone from literally nothing in London, where he feels like the most insignificant man on the planet, to suddenly huge significance, and in his warped, twisted mind, worth, self-worth, all these things, because suddenly he's on the front page of every newspaper in the land, every news show, and and the President of the United States is actually listening to him. So it's crazy when you actually begin to understand human behavior and you begin to kind of figure out how that applies to your own life. You'll be way more aware of these 7 things that I've spoken about, and you'll know when you're going down the wrong path and when you should pull back and actually go down a different path and choose make a better decision. Ultimately, you've got to make a better decision. But it's still hard. Even though you know all this stuff, it's difficult. And I'm not saying this is really simple and you watch one Periscope or one Facebook broadcast like this and you'll be a master of it, because that's delusional. You won't be. You've got to practice this stuff every single day of your life. I think to a certain degree as well, it's a bit easier for me because I'm the one who's like, right, I've got to make 2 live presentations a week on this stuff. I've got to read books on this because I run a book club. It's like I have no excuse. I have to do it. Whereas for a lot of people, although this stuff is easy to do, we learned when we were reading The Slight Edge last month that the best things for you are very easy to do, but they're also very easy not to do. So you could go, oh, well, I could just watch this. I could either watch this educational video or I could read this book. It's going to help me understand myself better. It's going to make me more successful. Or I could watch Love Island. Both are just as easy to do, but you'll probably choose the path of least resistance for most people, which is to lie on the couch and just still watch Love Island. It's fascinating that we choose to ask disempowering questions instead of learning about the brain. Yeah, honestly. But you've got to really want to do it. You've got to really want to change your life. And you've got to also, have that seed there initially that's like, I know I can change my life. Not everybody gets to that point, unfortunately, and that's what I can't force people to. I would never. I had a lot of people emailing me when I was launching Bulletproof Actor last week, and they were like, I'm on the fence about the program, I'm not sure about this, I'm not sure about that. I didn't try and hard sell any of them. Because I'm like, actually, that's a program. It's such an in-depth program that you've got to feel ready to do it yourself. You've got to make that decision. I'm not going to push you to do it. I'm like, if you want to change your life, you're dedicated to doing it, and you are going to then go on to practice the stuff you learn for every single day of your life whilst you are here, do the program. You might not be ready to do the program, though. You might still only be in that mindset where Love Island means more to you, which it does for a lot of people right now in the UK, than actually improving your life, being more successful, getting a better job, earning more money, being able to help more people with that money, because it's not all about you. A lot of people are like, I don't need money because I'm fine without it. I don't need money. My family were never rich. So, for me to have money, it feels like I'm being a traitor on my family. No, you might not need that money, but you know what? People around you might need that money. So why don't you go out and earn a bit more? You'll be able to help a lot more people with it. Because let's be honest, it's not dirty. Money is not a negative thing. It's not something you should be ashamed of earning or feel that there isn't enough for you or you shouldn't have that money. Of course you should, because you know what? It's freedom. And it gives you the freedom to have way more impact in the world. I wouldn't be able to do this stuff I'm doing right now if I'd not earned money from my work to buy a computer, to buy cameras, buy microphones. I've got a laptop down here. I've got an iPhone. It's all really expensive kit. Not because I needed it, because I'm like, I've got to have loads of money. But no, I look at the impact I can have by utilising that money to help other people, I might not need it, but someone on here might really need it. Someone on here tonight might have been like, you know what? God, I'm feeling like in a really, really dark place. And this is the thing that's just brought me back from the edge just a little bit, 1 foot step back. They might have really needed it. I don't know. Could hit anybody on Twitter who's feeling really, really bad right now. And they've just gone, okay, it's made a bit of a difference, or they've had a bit of human connection that they needed because they've been in their house all week, not spoke to anybody. It's powerful, it's important. So yeah, I might not need it, but other people do. So that's why you should strive to have success as well. It's not all about you. It's about the other people you can impact with that success. So there you go, guys. We're going to be back on Wednesday, but I don't know what book we're going to be doing because I haven't bought it yet. So if anybody's got any decisions that they're going to make in a high quality way on what book we should read, do let me know. I need it. Not only do I need a new kitchen, I need a new laptop, says Caroline. I'm not in a dark place, but still accepting both US and UK currency. Yeah, exactly, Tony. Absolutely. Tony joins us from the other side of the pond. It blows my mind every time, Tony, I see you join, mate, just because I'm like, look, impact goes international when you're like, and Melinda, Mel, you're from Oregon, aren't you? So that's Portland, I think. So, yeah, it's mental, isn't it? I couldn't do this without money, but it's amazing when you go, you know what, right now, I'm actually being able to communicate with people on the other side of the world. Crazy. So yeah, Mel says, yeah, I love it. It's insane. Absolutely insane. Seriously, I found you on YouTube over a year ago, says Tony. Tony, how did you actually find it on YouTube? And anybody, you know what? I'm always fascinated by this. If you're new, if you're listening on the audio experience right now, or you're watching on YouTube because you've stumbled across this video because maybe the thumbnail had you intrigued, drop me an email, ross@actonthis.tv, or tweet me Ross A. Grant or @actonthistv. Just let me know. If you're listening, particularly on iTunes as well, let me know how you found out about the podcast. I really want to go hard on the podcast. I would hugely appreciate anybody on here, everybody on here, because I'm going to do, again, more exclusive stuff on the podcast as well, to subscribe on iTunes or on Stitcher.com. You just have to search for Act on This TV, all one word, on iTunes or Stitcher, and subscribe. It's free, and I rip all of the audio from these Periscopes and put it up on iTunes and Stitcher every week. Tony said it was from Anthony Mindel. Okay, wicked. There we go. And people, Brene Brown. People are recommending her for the book club because people have always raved about Brene. And I was interviewing Anthony Mindel. I've interviewed him twice. Great guy. I'm going to get him back on the show again pretty soon, I think. He'll definitely be someone I'm going to do a Facebook live video with for sure. But yeah, we're fascinated. Go and subscribe for free. It would mean the world to me. And the more subscribers I get, obviously, the more content I'm going to put out because there's more people listening to it. It just spurs me on. It's always going to be free. Podcast is just completely free. But I would love, for you to subscribe. It's going to just make me want to do it more. Ultimately, that's my significance right there. It's human needs. That's how I get my significance. I'm like, actually, people are listening to me for once. People are actually doing, consuming my content, which is lovely. It's really, I don't underestimate. This is something I want to say. For you to give me your time and your attention, because I think today in such a fast-moving world, our attention is probably our number one commodity. So it's not necessarily your time, because you can spend time with someone and you might not be present. You can go for a coffee with someone and you're looking at your phone, you're not really with them. Your attention, so where you are looking, I'm looking at the camera right now at you. If you're looking at the screen back at me, you're giving me attention. And I don't ever underestimate that, because right now in the UK it's gone 10 o'clock. You might have wanted to go to bed or watch Love Island or do whatever you wanted to do, but you actually chose to watch me on the podcast, on the audio experience. You've chosen to download it and you press play when you're out and about. Hugely grateful for that. Just completely authentically, thank you from the bottom of my heart, because it just means a lot. I mean, it's worthwhile doing. Otherwise, what's the point, you know? I would still do these scopes to one person, because even if I can affect one person, it's good. But it's nice when there's more people watching. So I appreciate it. Caroline says she chose this over Fearless. I don't even know what Fearless is, Caroline, but I appreciate the fact that you chose it over it anyway. So that's it. So I'm going to wrap up for tonight. I'm just going to get myself back on Facebook here so I can actually end this scope. I keep calling it a scope. It's no longer a Periscope, because we don't just do it on Periscope. You're very welcome, and thank you, DF Acting. Appreciate you. Thank you very much for being here. Everybody, I mean, I love it, but people just tune in sometimes just on Twitter, so they never actually enter the app for Facebook or for Periscope. But sometimes I'll go back and I'll look at the replay, and there'll be 500 people has watched just on Twitter. So that in itself is incredible. Massively appreciate that as well. So I'll be back on Wednesday and posting the Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/act on this TV. And let me know what book you might want to read on Wednesday. How do I share this on Facebook? So just under the video or to the right of the comments will be a share little arrow that points up and out to the right. You click on that, you can share it to your page. You can share it to a group, I think. You can share it to a business page or to your wall. The view I get as an administrator for the broadcast is different to the one that you guys will get, but I'm guessing that share thing should still be on the bottom right on Facebook. And then on Twitter, you can just retweet it. If anyone's watching on Twitter now, not in Periscope, little experiment, just retweet this for me. It'll pop up and it'll tell me you've retweeted it. Just want to know if there's anybody watching on Twitter right now who's not actually joined via Periscope. Hit retweet. I think I should see it. Maybe I don't see it because I'm not in the app either. I'm actually watching on Periscope. So I'm not too sure, but I already did earlier, says Caroline. Well, thank you, Caroline. Appreciate that. If you hit the share button on Facebook Live, it will reach more feeds. Says Tony. All right, okay. I'm still learning about this, Tony. To be honest, we're still checking it out. To the point where Facebook's not even loading, so I can't even end this anyway. So you've got me for a bit longer until I can actually bring this video up on Facebook. It's still spinning around. And it's not actually showing me the... there you go. Now it is showing me the broadcast. Amazing. Well, thank you. Hugely appreciate that. Hannah has just invited the followers. Thank you. And a few people must have exited out to retweet this for me, so I appreciate that, because I see you joining back in. Jen has just come back in. Rock and roll. Well, thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Cheers, Simon. Everyone who's doing Bulletproof Actor, Unstoppable Confidence, Infinite Success, check your inbox as well. Sent you an invite to the first, if you're a VIP, to the first live call. It's happening on Thursday, the 20th of July at 7 p.m. It's going to be incredible. You're going to love it. It's going to change your life. So check your inbox for that. If you've not got an email, tag me in the VIP Facebook group and I'll sort that invite out for you. But yeah, I can't wait to work with you guys. Thank you, Mel. Thanks everybody for being here, and I'll catch you soon. All right, bye for now. Remember, let's make positivity louder.